That's an imagination, the police car pulling up outside. Anyway, I wish I could be in a Japanese hotel right now, having a free stay in exchange for being live streamed, because I'm more than happy to be live streamed to the internet at all times. So if anyone's willing to tell me about a UK hotel that will pay me to live stream myself 24/7 in exchange for staying in one of their rooms, I really wouldn't mind. Anyway, hello. I'll tell you the honest truth. All I'll say is I've just phoned the police and I was expecting them to be here by now. I was told they would be here, implying grade A with blue lights. Even though using a non-emergency number 101, that doesn't affect the control and grade of it. You could call 999 and have your call graded as attend or scheduled, and you can call 101 and have it come out as a grade A emergency response or grade B priority response. That's how it is. Grade C is scheduled and grade D is non-attended. But anyway, that's all I've done. Hello, Cyrus. That's all I've done. I haven't done anything else on a live stream, because that was just embarrassing. All I'm going to say is I want to know what will happen when the police turn up. Also, if anyone knows where to get the low-cost memory card, hang on, no, I already know, CEX. Shout out to them, they'll chop a pretty decent kit, a pretty decent price for a 5-year warranty, and they haven't even paid me to say this. So you know what? I think I'll go to CEX. So I know there's a better place to get memory cards. Please let me know, as I need another one for my phone. Hello, Waldo. Yes. What I want to do is keep this spontaneous live stream running, as this has become the genre of this channel, spontaneously live streaming. What I think will be a significant moment. But actually turned out to be nothing, as I thought the police were outside. No, I'm in my own room at home. That's where I am. That's all I'm going to say, by the way. I just wish I was in a hotel staying for free in exchange for being live streamed 24/7, as I would happily. I'm laying in bed. As I'd happily accept staying there for free in exchange for being live streamed. No, I'm not. Well, all I'll say is that I thought that outside there was a police car, and there isn't. Oh. Very good question. Was for breaching bail conditions, although what got me to bail conditions was breaching a criminal behaviour order. But yeah, all I'm going to do is I've called them and they said the police will be with me shortly, so I can turn this into a police video. Is I'm just going to lay here and wait for the police to show up. So yeah, this will be the introduction to what will now be a very interesting police video when they show. Of course, the nature of the police, they say we'll be here imminently, and then they take bloody ages. Hello, Rainbow Sonic. Okay. But anyhow, changing... discuss something until then. An interesting point is, why do the government have such a high budget for police and yet little budget on mental health services? It's almost as if they enjoy criminalising people with mental health problems instead of giving the support they need to avoid offending. It's ridiculous how care in the community has resulted in psychiatric hospital beds and community-based interventions that are proven to work being replaced by overworked probation services and overcrowded prisons. Like, to use one example, HMP Norwich is at the moment overcrowded by about 15%, thanks to years of mismanagement of the system. And up north, prisons are even more overcrowded, with, for example, Durham about at least 80% from what I've read. Like, is that the solution to people with mental health issues? The answer is no. Overcrowded prisons are bad enough for people who are perfectly sane. They're even worse for people with mental health issues. Very good question. Well, where I live, it's Norwich for male prisoners, Peterborough for female prisoners. So, Cyrus, you no longer live in Norwich, because I remember I used to meet you quite a few times in Norwich. Assuming you're the Cyrus I think you are, if you remember meeting me in Norwich along with a couple of other friends. I think it must be done now. No, I'm just filming nothing. Sorry to switch. Why is it this stupid app doesn't work? Literally press the flip button, it does not work. Another point, why is it that on my phone, I think it's a Galaxy A22 Samsung, that whenever I try and use YouTube to film in landscape, it breaks and throws a puddle. Even if I tell it I want to film in landscape, it doesn't let me. Why? Yeah, good point, HQ2. Shout out to you. Record a clip and upload after, but here's the point. What if it's a police video where my worry is that, like what happened to me once in Chelmsford back in 2018, do remember I was only 21 back then, I accidentally trespassed Essex Police Headquarters. Next thing I know, I'm getting pushed against the wall by the neck and told that if you resist, I'm going to smash that head through the window. And so I swore at him and got warned for, and ended up being warned that if I continued, I'd be locked up for Section 5 public order for swearing at the officer, you know. Yet 2 other officers were standing round and watching an officer assault me and doing nothing. Not only that, one of those officers deleted video evidence, so, of the assault, which I'd recorded on my mobile phone, which was taken off me. And for that reason, that's why I always want to live stream. And that was police, of all people. When it's prisons, look at how bent all the screws are. There are numerous stories of bent screws smuggling drugs into prisons. They would think nothing about doing what Essex Police did to me on that day in 2018. You know, they think nothing of it if they think nothing of smuggling drugs into prison. So it's just not an option to record the clip and upload later in these cases. Yeah, it shouldn't happen to anyone at all. That is police, brutality, yeah. All for trespassing. And then I asked, why did you do that? And he'd say, because I felt threatened by your reaction, as I think all I did was attempt to move my about my bag, although I might have made a sudden move. Even so, it was obvious I wasn't going to draw a weapon, because if I had any intent to draw a weapon, you know, I would have put my hand into, I would have, how can I put it, put my hand somewhere a weapon would be held, and I would have had a weapon visible, most likely. There would have been better ways of doing it, like an approved takedown technique could have been used, even if force was necessary. And, well, it's through me being reckless, and, maybe it wasn't an accident. I think I may have deliberately walked in, but nonetheless, that is excessive. And even if the use of force was lawful, destroying evidence is just not acceptable. Even then. Like, there's no law that allows the police to delete images or videos recorded while trespassing, including on their own property. The only thing they can do is to get an injunction of some sort, or a criminal behaviour order. Had one for Norfolk at the time, I remember, that would have prohibited exactly that, recording a police station. That's why I went down to Essex, which is a decision I regretted, because they have the mob mentality down in Essex. Then again, I've heard Metropolitan have the mob mentality too, so I'm genuinely, as do the British Transport Police, so I'm not sure which force are worse. But yeah, after all my experience in the police, recording and uploading later is just foolish. Like, I've had Metropolitan Police officers assault me for recording them in a public place, which is even more effed up. Put it that way. And I've had a British Transport Police officer, who shall remain nameless, grabbed me and pushed me back to the desk, solely because I think she'd got the hump, because she'd met me a few times before under circumstances which, put diplomatically, I accept my behaviour was perhaps somewhat imperfect, but, you know, that officer knows who she is, and she could have handled it better than in police custody, which is a controlled environment, grabbing me and pushing me to the desk solely because she'd finished searching me and wanted me to go back to the desk. Better method would have been just say, lovely, I've just searched you, that's okay, would you mind going back to the desk? Then do what she did, you know. They all have the mob mentality. Like, some police forces just have the mob mentality. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm not sure which one I'd label the worst, but I'd say the threat of pushing my head through the glass makes Essex Police the worst. Well, that said, the close second place with, I'm not sure which force. Let me think. I'd say close second place with Metropolitan Police for pushing me multiple times on a public footpath for merely standing there watching them as an unofficial punishment because I'd been filming them earlier, which is not on. And third place, British Transport Police for overreacting to me lawfully annoying them a few times. Yes, I accept that I'd somehow annoyed them, but hadn't broken the law, or would have been nicked for it. Yeah. Personally, I think the police should be abolished. Or that said, wouldn't be for a totally lawless society. There need to be alternative solutions to crime and punishment. As for prisons, I'd reform them drastically. Like, instead of the model of mass incarceration and overcrowding, I'd replace it to give way to a model of, yeah, that's probably true. Even then, it isn't always possible to keep your distance. What if they approach you? But yeah, if anyone wants to buy me a better recording device and this not so good mediocre smartphone, or contribute towards it, again, in due course, I'll put a link down below explaining how you could, which will be a Revolut Me link for you to donate. And I'm really begging you, if someone can give me some money for a better recording device, I really would be really grateful if you wouldn't mind, please. But yeah, you aren't wrong, but it isn't always possible to keep your distance. If possible, I'd say yes. Obviously, if the police want to speak to you, don't keep your distance. Comply. Even that's just the right thing to do. If they want to speak to you, avoid making off, because you don't know how they might react. Like, to use another example, back in 2015, I filmed Sergeant Hogan, said it's fine. He, I think, either lied or misinterpreted my words as the words "fuck off," as that's what he wrote in his statement, those two words, and said, "Sir, you're as about pre-transition. You'll wait. You've been warned about your conduct. Come here, please." But he was on private property, and he said you shouldn't be filming on private property. I knew what that was, an attempt to entrap me into a situation which would otherwise be a civil matter, but he claims is criminal, which isn't. He clearly doesn't know the law, Sergeant Hogan. Anyway, I then continued walking and said, "Well, no, you come here, please. Am I obliged to stop walking?" As I carried on slowly, walking, probably to distance myself from private property where I wasn't on it. Because, as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't said you're being detained. It's a request. Come here, please. Well, what if I say, no, I'm not? And he then grabs me, detains me, and forcibly stops me filming and grabs my camera. And at which point I overreacted by telling him to fuck off multiple times, and then got nicked for Section 5. Given there were children around, that was not acceptable behaviour, and I hold my hands up. I was able to plea bargain my way out of that one, because also charged for a number of other offences, but my advice is don't swear, especially loudly, in those kind of contexts. In fact, I just wouldn't at all around police, because, you know, it's one thing letting your hair down in private, it's another thing. Like, I've seen a clip where a bunch of Cambridgeshire police officers were pursuing a police car that not a police car, I mean a civilian car that had been stolen. And one officer was saying something about the car stopping at a crossing. The other officer said, "He'll have done the crossing, you fucking idiot." But that's one thing. Saying the same words in a public place, especially with kids around, is another thing. Anyway, the police are here. This is our police video. Hello? You're not going to nick me, are you? Okay, by all means, thank you.
Hello, it's alright if we come in.
Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you very much. I'll just turn my body on video camera on.
Mine
Alright.
also on the right.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, thank you.
Where should we go? Through here?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
fine, thank you.
What are you holding this up for, what's going on?
Alright, fine, I'll use the loo briefly and then I'll explain. It's a situation in which I believe I'm both a victim, but I understand from your point of view I may also be a suspect, so I'll explain that shortly.
Okay.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna end this live stream as I'll be discussing something complicated, so I think that'd be best. Thanks and goodbye.